You are watching the WD Broadcasting Network, your home for racing highlights, iRacing broadcast, commentary, and more. But here comes Jeremiah Woods. He wants to win in the Street Stock Showdown. But he's hungry to get up to the front. If you are a fan of short track racing, the WD Broadcasting Network is your home for racing content in real life and on the sim. Follow the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to hit that red subscribe button on YouTube to never miss an upload. Top spot away, Terzak once again into the back bumper. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network, and welcome back to the Trackmaster Sim Series. Back at the Langley Speedway for race number 5 of the season. Coming into this evening, we have had 4 races with 2 different winners. Brandon Atkinson has 1 win, and then Kyle Terzak, who's currently fast time in practice, has 3 victories, and he is your most recent winner, picking up the victory in the 100 lapper last week. 100 laps, we had 1 caution flag. Tonight we go for 75. We'll see how that changes the way that these drivers attack the Langley Speedway. Brandon Atkinson in the 15. Making his final runs. Jason Frey in the 118 has been trying to get that car dialed in. He's slowly worked his way up the board. Currently 4th quick with about a minute and a half left in practice. This is an open setup. We've said it before, but we'll say it again for those of you that may be new to the Trackmaster Sim Series. So as we prepare for tonight's action, top 7 going to go through the heat races. And I believe 1 from the last chance race. Everybody going to transfer, though. Here tonight we won't have any last chance qualifier action. Let's look at the times up on the left side to see what we should expect in qualifying. A 15.283, Kyle Terzak, top of the board. A 290 from Brandon Atkinson and a 292 from Brandon Elvis. Very close between your top 3. We'll have to see who can be the most lights out. It looks like that will do it for practice. It's time to qualify for the Trackmaster Sim Series. First driver on the racetrack in the number 57, that is Alex Hallinar. Alex has 2 starts already this season. 1 top 5 finish in that 57. That came last week after he started 16th, drove up to the 4th spot. We'll see what Alex can do here in qualifying. Lap number 1 comes across the line. 15.447. We'll try to improve lap 2. And across the line, second time around for Hallinar. Does improve a little bit. A 4:35 his second lap. driver out. One win already this season, currently sits second in the point standings. This is Brandon Atkinson. Atkinson tagged the wall there on lap number 1. I think he's going to reset that race car and try it again. A couple drivers resetting the race cars and not happy with their first attempt. As Landon Farmer in the 026, he's top of the board with a 425. Tom Dean in the 71. His qualifying run, he gets the white flag, but I think he's going to shut the car down, a 15.484. Puts Tom Dean fourth quick. Brandon Atkinson, lap number 2. He'll come around to the checkered. And quick time as of right now, a 15.303. That is the time to beat. Zach Murphy not too far behind with a 15.359. We'll see if he can pick it up on lap number 2. Murphy right down to the bottom of the racetrack trying to get that car planted up off of the corner. And second lap slows it down just a tad. Three-time winner this season, Kyle Terzak, ready to complete his qualifying run, comes across the stripe. And I don't think he got a lap in there. I think he may have grazed the wall both laps, so Terzak going to have a troublesome starting spot in the heat races. Next out on the racetrack, the driver currently third in the point standings. One top 5 finish so far this season. 3 top 10s, very consistent start to the season for the driver out of Supply, North Carolina. This is Adam Fulford. Fulford third quick in his qualifying run. He'll shut it down. Brandon Elvis jumps up to the second spot in the throwback number 54. Jason Foray also up into the top 5. He'll take second away from Elvis. And I think we've got one more driver yet to qualify. That's Jared Duda in the number 53. And green flag for the 53 of Jared Duda, making his first start with us this season. One top 10 finish in the career previously for Jared Duda. 6 quick in qualifying. And that will wrap up our qualifying procedures. We'll prepare for heat race action in just a moment on the WD Broadcasting Network. Let's look at the Langley Speedway from above. Very flat 3/8 mile, I do believe. Depends on where you look. Some say 3/8, some say 4/10. Some say 0.35, you know, whatever it may be. Either way, a flat bull ring with not a lot of straightaway time. You got to be very smooth in the corners, especially on corner exit here tonight. You see 111-degree track temperatures, which will make it tough on these drivers. Let's meet the starters in heat race number 1. Going to be bringing us to the green fast qualifier here tonight. The Trick Chassis number 15, the driver second in the points. That's Brandon Atkinson. To his outside, the Coastal Performance number 54 of Brandon Elvis. Elvis currently sits 4th in the standings. Adam Fulford in the 71. Third in the standings, going to roll off third from heat race number 1. He will have the 24 of Kyle Adams, making his second start of the season, rolling off 4th in heat race number 1. Alex Halinar going to roll off from the 5th spot with Evan Hassler in the number 38, starting 6th to his outside. Tom Dean in the 071 will roll off from the 7th position with Bob Belshaw in the 044, starting 8th. And rounding out the starters in heat race number 1, it's the 84 of Tim Dayton and Kyle Terzak in the 015. And Terzak, I don't think, going to start the heat race. We'll see how that relays to the feature later on. We'll see if he runs the feature or if he has called it a night. One to go signal given right here. We'll have 8 laps in heat race number 1. The Brandon and Brandon show on the front row going to bring us to the green. Adam Fulford, Kyle Adams, row number 2. Pace car picks up pace and moves to the exit of the track, and we are green in heat race number 1. Atkinson leads Elvis down through the first set of corners. Elvis going to get down into that 2nd spot. Adam Fulford gets right up into the 3rd position. And now Alex Halinar underneath Kyle Adams trying to take the 4th spot on lap number 1, and he will. Adams in the 24 did not get the best jump from that 4th spot, and already back 2 positions, stuck up on that outside lane. Now has Tom Dean to his inside. That's the battle for 6th now. And Kyle Adams finally back to that bottom lane, but he's fallen back to the 7th spot. Out front, Brandon Atkinson shows the way in the number 15. Oh, and we got a car around Tim Dayton in the 84. Heard contact when the camera cut, but I didn't see exactly what happened. Let's take another look. Dayton was battling with Bob Belshaw in the 44. Looks like just came up the racetrack, spun it out there. And the caution flag did fly. So caution flag strikes here in the first heat race of the night. Caution laps don't count. We were only about 3 laps in, so we'll have 5 laps to go when we come back to the green. Atkinson was able to get away nicely on that initial start. Brandon Elvis, I think, just trying to settle in back behind, doesn't want to push too hard just yet. So the field going to double up. I believe they'll get the 1 to go signal this time by. We'll see the lights drop off the iRacing.com pace car. Final week with heat races tonight. I don't think we're going to have heat races before next week's 200 lap season finale. Crazy how fast this season has kind of flashed by. And Brandon Atkinson, Brandon Elvis going to bring this field back to green, just shy of halfway in heat race number 1. Green flag is back out, and we're back racing. Good launch from the 15 of Brandon Atkinson. He gets out in front. Elvis right back down to the bottom. Tags the wall down the back straightaway, but everybody in the right direction. Here comes Evan Hassler underneath. Alex Halinar jumps up to the 4th spot. He's trying to bring Tom Dean with him in the 071. Dean underneath Hal and R. Kyle Adams waiting right behind him. Wants to move back forward after that not so good start. No, there's contact with the 57. Both of them slide into turns 1 and 2. They'll get it figured back out and get back in the right direction. This time by out of turn number 4. White flag is out for Brandon Atkinson. Final lap in heat number 1. Evan Hassler right there on the back bumper of Adam Fulford for the 3rd spot, but into turn number 3. Winner of heat race number 1. Give it to Brandon Atkinson. Elvis comes home 2nd, Fulford 3rd, Evan Hassler 4th. Tom Dean rounds out your top 5 in heat number 1. Jason Frey in the chat below informing us that Kyle Turzak has a different league, so not able to make the appearance here tonight with the Trackmaster Sim Series. Tough break for the driver who currently leads the points, but with the points advantage that he has, he may be able to hang on to it after tonight's festivities. We'll see where he ends up. Let's meet the starting lineup for heat race number 2. On the pole, Jason Frey in the number 18, who we just were talking about in the chat below. Zach Murphy in the 29, going to start from the 2nd spot. Row number 2 on the inside, that's the 53 of Jared Duda, making his first start with us this season. And to his outside, Landon Farmer in the 026. Row number 3 on the inside, didn't get a whole lot of practice. That's number 14 of Justin Coleman. He's got a beautiful hot rod here tonight. We'll take a look at it here in a moment. And to his outside, it's Richard Parks in the 113. Hudson Geiger in the 36, former winner in the Trackmaster Sim Series, going to start 7th alongside Anthony Yankello in the 979, rolling off from the 8th spot. And row number 5, Tyler Muller and Julian Valadez going to bring this field to the green, although I don't think Julian Valadez going to be able to make the call. Do not see him on the starting grid. I mentioned that beautiful hot rod Justin Coleman has got. Look at the colors on this machine. Had the 4th of July last weekend, and what a beautiful car to represent the holiday season. We'll see if Coleman can get the job done in that beautiful race car, and he'll be piloting it from the 5th spot in heat race number 1. He'll have his work cut out for him to try and get himself a better starting position for the 75 lap feature later on, but the green flag is out and we're back racing. Heat race number 2 is underway. Oh, and Coleman in the 14 gets tagged by Hudson Geiger. Yellow flag is out immediately. And it looked like right in front of Justin Coleman, it looked like a couple cars stacked up. I don't know if somebody missed a shift down into one. Looks like the 14 able to continue on. Let's watch that again. Here is the green. Watch the 53 of Jared Duda here, because he gets right on the back bumper. Guess we'll have to get a better look at that here. Try and go from the drone camera. This is on the restart. Watch the 118 when they go down into the corner. The 53 has to check up hard, and then Coleman has to check up hard, and then Geiger right there into the back bumper. Unfortunately, nothing I think the 36 could have done differently. Maybe given more space, but got to be aggressive trying to get every spot you can. So the yellow flag out in heat race number 2. So once again be Foray and Murphy, your top 2. They'll be side by side when we come back to the green. Field will double up this time. Lights going to drop off of the iRacing.com pace car, and we'll send it back green. Complete restart, I do believe, with 8 laps to go in heat race number 2. The heat races help set up the lineup for the invert, and there's also heat race points on the line, so you want to get everything you can, especially if you're one of the drivers trying to track down Kyle Terzak. As Bray heads through the restart zone, good launch right away from the 118. And he will be clear down through turns 1 and 2. Jared Duda right there on the back bumper. Murphy back to third in the 29. Now Hudson Geiger underneath Justin Coleman. Coleman trying to make that top side work, but Geiger in the preferred line on the inside. Up in front of him, Richard Parks in the 113 underneath Landon Farmer. Parks is loose on the bottom. Farmer is able to get away, and that's going to open up the door for Hudson Geiger, but now I think Geiger got the door shut on him, and Tyler Muller will look to his inside. Here comes Justin Coleman back to the bottom. Into turn number 3. Muller thought about the inside of Richard Parks right there. Didn't quite get to show the nose to the inside. Parks shut the door. Justin Coleman on the rear bumper of Tyler Muller. Muller trying to get to the inside of Richard Parks and finally gets the nose inside. Can he make that pass? We come back to the white flag this time. And can Justin Coleman follow him through? Final time around in heat race number 2. Coleman going to have an opportunity to look to the inside here. Through turns 3 and 4, Jason Ferre going to pick up the victory in heat number 2. Jared Duda second, Zach Murphy third, Landon Farmer fourth, Tyler Muller fifth, Richard Parks sixth, Justin Coleman seventh, and Anthony Ankello eighth. Rounds out your field. So we will have a quick consolation race, but I think everybody is scheduled to make it into the race, so we'll just have to skip through this session momentarily. So as we do this, we'll take a quick step away, let everybody catch their breath, get a drink, get a snack, whatever you need, before this 75-lap main event here on the WD Broadcasting Network. So we'll be right back with more action from the Trackmaster Sim Series.
KG Media is your home for all things photography, race day social media, and more. Cody Geyer brings more than a decade of experience working with the top brands in short track racing. From individual photos to full race days, social media to PR, KG Media can make your race team, race track, or touring series stand out. For more information, go to marknews.org or visit KG Media on Facebook.
Mark News is back. Michigan Area Racing Connection News keeps fans in the tri-state area up to date on national headlines, local results, regional news, and so much more. Home of the Horsepower Happenings podcast, 500 Sprintcast, Gridline Social, Job Bank, Fastlane Images, KG Media, and so much more. MarkNews.org is the one stop for any race fan who needs to know what's going on in the Michigan area. Plus, get the Mark News weekly newsletter sent right to your inbox, FREE free. Sign up today and learn more at marknews.org. MarkNews.org, the Michigan Area Racing Connection.
All right, race fans, so it looks like we are finally ready to go racing. Warm-up session going to take place. And we will prepare for this 75 lap. Hey, main, trying to catch the invert if I can. These drivers have about 3 minutes to get everything dialed with their car. Justin Coleman in the 14. Hopefully he has a better run here in the feature as opposed to what we saw in the heat race. Had some bad luck early. I just don't think had a competitive stance from there. Luckily, none of the damage sustained in the heat race transfers over here on iRacing. Get a new car each time, which is a good thing, and then it's sometimes a bad thing, because good thing you get a new car for the next race. Bad thing is some people drive like you get a new car for the next race, so it's a double-edged sword. Currently, Hudson Geiger holding the top spot after this warm-up session. Evan Hassler does jump up ahead of him in the 38. Obviously, not everybody going for their best lap. But let's meet our starting lineup. All right, I'm just getting confirmation the invert is a 5. Let's take a look here. That puts... well, we'll see. Well, maybe. Well, for whatever reason, timing and scoring not working there. But that'll put the number 71 of Adam Fulford on the pole. To his outside, it's going to be the number 53 of Jared Duda. Starting inside row number 2, that'll be the 54 of Brandon Elvis. Outside row number 2 is going to be Jason Foray in the 118, and then your fast qualifier, Brandon Atkinson, going to start from the 5th spot. And then it will be straight up from there on back. Looking at the rest of the field, starting in the 6th position, that'll be the 29 of Zach Murphy. Still looking for that first Trackmaster Sim Series victory. Starting from the 7th spot, that's going to be Evan Hassler and the number 38, coming back with us once again this season. Starting from the 8th position, Landon Farmer in the 026. And back behind Farmer, that will be the number 55 of Tyler Muller. Tom Dean in the 71 right there alongside Muller in the 55. Row number 6. Almost said 11. Row number 6, starting 11th. That's going to be the number 24 of Kyle Adams. To his outside, the 113 of Richard Parks. Then rounding out the field, it's going to be the number 57 of Alex Hallinar. 14 of Justin Coleman. Tim Dayton in the 84. Hudson Geiger in the 36. Bob Belshaw in the 044. And Anthony Yankello in the 979. Field getting ready to go racing. Once we turn them loose, it will be 75 laps. No sets of tires in the pits to save you. You've got to keep this set rolling for 75 laps. We'll see who can pick up the victory. Only one driver in this field has been to victory lane so far this season. That's the 15 of Brandon Atkinson. Let's see how it happens as the pace car pulls off to the inside and through turns 3 and 4. We are racing down into turns 1 and 2. Adam Fulford in the 71. Going to lead the field through the first set of corners. Brandon Elvis in the 54 alongside Jared Duda is going to take over that second spot. Through turns 3 and 4. Leader of lap number 1 is the 71 of Adam Fulford, getting racy for the second spot already. Brandon Elvis gets clear of Jared Duda. Now Brandon Atkinson going to try to follow right on the bottom lane. Bottom lane going to be very strong here early, as we have seen it be strong all throughout the season so far. And around goes the 118 of Jason Foray. Foray goes for a spin. Not sure exactly how it happened. Watch the 118 to the inside, look 3 wide, down into turn number 1. I think just did not have a lane underneath Evan Hassler. Watch it one more time. This is from the drone. You can see him sneak underneath the 38 machine. It makes contact right there, and I just don't think the 38 was going to give him as much space as the 118 wanted that early in the run. So, unfortunately, under caution early on. We're going to try to restart timing and scoring for you guys because it has not worked for me the entirety of the night up to this point. There we go. And it looks like the field going to double back up. So after that quick spin, everybody did a good job avoiding Jason Foray and the 118 spinning out in turns 1 and 2. We'll send him back racing. Adam Fulford going to have Brandon Elvis now to his outside. We'll see if he can hold off that 54. Watch the 15 of Brandon Atkinson right there as well. Green flag is back out, and we're back racing on lap number 8 of 75. Through the first set of corners. Good launch from the 71 of Fulford. But he has got Brandon Elvis right there in the 54. Not too far behind. Tom Dean way up the racetrack in the 71. Loses a lot of ground there. Everybody trying to be as aggressive as they can here early on. Tyler Muller underneath Landon Farmer. Battle right there for the 7th spot. Up in front of him, Jared Duda to the outside of Zach Murphy. Both of those drivers want a spot in the top 5. Oh, and Murphy up the racetrack a little bit. A little contact with the 53. You can see right as those two get side by side, and Muller was able to get clear of Landon Farmer, just how quickly he is able to close right up to the back bumper. Murphy down to the bottom, trying to get clear of Jared Duda. Duda scrapes the wall. And Murphy still not able to get clear of that 53 just yet. Duda making it tough on the outside lane. And caution flag is out. Tom Dean in the 71 goes around. We saw him have trouble through turns 3 and 4, went way up the racetrack. Then suddenly was spun around out of turn number 4. Let's see how it happened. Looks like got a bumper from Anthony Yankello in the 79. And around he went up off of turn number 4. Nothing intentional, it looked like. You could see the 79 hit the brakes as soon as he seen what he had done. Caution flag is back out for the second time. Adam Fulford continues to hold the race lead. Fulford still looking for his first Trackmaster Sim Series victory. He has 18 starts, still looking for win number 1. Could it come here tonight at Langley? So far, his teammate Brandon Elvis has not put too much pressure on him just yet. I'm sure the pressure will be there later in the race. Elvis not going to give it to Adam easy here. So that will be an exciting one to keep an eye on. Brandon Atkinson's right there as well. Evan Hassler has looked strong. He'll be on the outside lane for this restart, though. How will that affect his drive to the front? The field doubles back up. We'll get ready to send them back racing through turns 3 and 4. Pace car will dip to pit road. Fulford, Elvis, Atkinson, and Hassler, your top 4. Getting ready to send us back to the green. Fulford into the loud pedal, and we are back underway. Oh, when we've got cars tangled up through turns 1 and 2. Jason Foray in the 118, spinning the wrong way down the racetrack through turn number 1. It looked like Tom Dean was stopped up at the top of the racetrack as well. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I did see the 118 go for a slide. Oh, Hudson Geiger in the 36. Off into the corner deep. And just tags the 70, or the 118, I should say. Have to go on board with the number 36. Let's see what he saw. Yeah, it sounded, or it looked like Bray just checked up maybe a little bit more than Geiger was anticipating. And that sends him for a loop-de-loop. So Fulford going to have to try again on another restart. Giving the 71 his restart practice here tonight, making sure he is tip-top on the restarts from that top spot. I can assure you, if he makes one mistake, Brandon Elvis and Brandon Atkinson are going to be right there to pounce on it. We'll see what happens this time. Field doubles back up. We're just about a third of the way into this one. 22 laps in when we come back to the line. It's Fulford, Elvis, Atkinson, and Hassler, your top 4 once again. Through the restart zone they go. Good launch from both drivers in the top 2, and we're back racing. Into turns 1 and 2. Good launch from Fulford. He gets the bottom lane. He'll be clear of Elvis down the back straightaway. Elvis into second, battle for third between Brandon Atkinson and Evan Hassler. Atkinson able to take the spot on the bottom, but Hassler going to try to cross over through turns 1 and 2 with 15. Able to use that momentum, and he will be clear for the third spot. Meanwhile, Tyler Moeller in the 55 trying to work his way back forward to the inside of Zach Murphy underneath the 29. This is for 5th. Keep an eye on that 55. Up into the top 5, started 10th in this one. Hassler in the 38. Another look to the inside of Brandon Atkinson, and caution flag is out. Tim Dayton in the 84 around in turns 1 and 2 for the second time tonight. Happened to the heat race earlier. We'll see what happened this time. Was running just in front of Bob Belshaw. I think just got tight up into Anthony Yankello. Yankello was going up the racetrack, and I just think he may have checked up a little bit more than Tim Dayton did. Go with his onboard. This is onboard with the 84. I think Yankello just checked up a little bit more than Dayton was expecting, and that loops him around. Spins down to the inside. I think he just barely clipped the inside wall, but the car seems to be fine. So Adam Fulford, your race leader back at the front, will choose the inside lane. Unlikely we're going to see him stray off that inside lane for as long as he can keep the lead. So the lights are back off. We're doubled back up. We'll send them back green this time by 31 laps in. 44 to go. Fulford on the bottom, Elvis on the top, and the green flag is back out. They're back underway. Another good jump from Adam Fulford, but here comes Brandon Elvis. Thought about taking a peek to the inside that time, but thought better of it. Fulford leads up front. Evan Hassler has Tyler Muller to his inside now for the 4th spot. Muller has been working his way forward. He gets by Evan Hassler up to 4th. Jared Duda going to try to follow the 55. This time by 35 laps in, 40 laps to go in race number 5 as the 53 is sideways. That allows Evan Hassler to try to shut the door. Hassler moves it down to the inside. Duda in the 53 has to give way. Got him a little sideways on the entry to 3. And Hassler able to get back down into the 5th spot. That'll be a good spot if he can get another restart. This time we're halfway in, halfway home. Oh, and Justin Coleman goes around in the 14. Spin in turn number 2. The 14 of Coleman goes around. He was running right around the final spot in the top 10. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Here's a look at what happened. Down into 1. And it looked like a similar incident to what happened earlier. I think cars may have checked up in front of Coleman a little bit harder. And then Coleman checked up, and he just happened to be the last car in line that was able to stay straight. So tough break for the 14. We're halfway in this one. He'll be back to the 15th spot. Watch that onboard with Jason Ferre just behind Justin Coleman. You can see the bump right there. I think everybody just checked up on each other's noses, and that is part of it sometimes, especially when everybody is so close on lap time and corner speed. So the field going to double up. Adam Fulford once again will line up alongside Brandon Elvis. Brandon Atkinson sits in the 3rd spot. And Evan Hassler rounds out your top 4. Or sorry, Tyler Muller rounds out your top 4. Green flag back underway. Good launch once again from Adam Fulford. And the caution flag immediately back out. Trouble at the back of the pack. Belshaw in the 44 involved. Justin Coleman in the 14 involved. I am not sure what happened there, but it was right as the green flag came out. So let's watch that restart again. Looked like the 44 of Belshaw, I think, missed a shift. And unfortunately, there was nowhere for Justin Coleman to go. We'll watch this on board with the 14. It's that first gear and just absolutely nothing you can do. You're full throttle, expecting everybody to be going. And Coleman, I think, calls it a night with that one right there. Tough break for that beautiful number 14. But Coleman going to retire it just past the halfway point after the luck just not on his side tonight at all. Alrighty, back, doubled up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Fulford in the 71. Gonna have to get a good launch here. Elvis has had some time to try and time him here. See what happens. Good launch from the 71. Another good launch from Elvis on that outside lane. He's right down to the bumper of Fulford. Can he cross over out of 2? No, not enough of a run. Adam Fulford going to lead through turns 3 and 4. Brandon Atkinson, Tyler Muller side by side for the 3rd spot. Atkinson a little loose on the inside lane. That's going to allow Muller to pull back ahead on the outside. Brandon Atkinson on the bottom. Tyler Muller on the top. Muller a little sideways. (15) of Atkinson really having to hold that car down through the corners. And that's allowing Tyler Muller to get the run up off. You can see Muller holding him very tight on the exit. Atkinson that time did not let Muller hold him all the way down. 15 starting to push back out. But up front for the race lead, Brandon Elvis to the inside of Adam Fulford. Here comes Elvis for the top spot. Fulford going to try to cross back over and gets in front of Brandon Atkinson. I think that checks up Atkinson. Atkinson up the racetrack. Tyler Muller scrapes the outside wall. And now Brandon Elvis is your leader with 22 laps to go. Atkinson right on the back bumper of Adam Fulford. Evan Hassler and Tyler Muller run 4th and 5th. Right there, battle for the 2nd and 3rd positions. Fulford in the 71, having to fend off Brandon Atkinson, but Atkinson sneaks to the inside through turns 3 and 4 that time. Here comes BA to 2nd. Atkinson going to shut the door on Adam Fulford out of turn number 2 that time. And he'll turn him back to Evan Hassler in the 38. Hassler trying to get up to 3rd. And it looks like Evan Hassler able to get by. Fulford tried to shut the door on Tyler Muller, but Muller had a nose inside. And it looks like Fulford that time going to have to cross back over. He'll try to get back underneath Tyler Muller. But Muller up to the 4th position. 17 laps to go at the line. Brandon Elvis trying to run away with it now. Atkinson in the 15, trying to track him down. Alex Hallinar in the 57, underneath Richard Parks. That is the battle for the 7th spot. Hallinar down low, Parks up top, pushes out just a little bit that time. 15 to go at the line. Just up in front of him, Landon Farmer starting to get racy. Wants to get around Adam Fulford for the final spot in the top 5. Farmer peeking underneath into 3, able to drive to the inside of Fulford through the center. But Fulford able to drive up off a corner. Maintain that gap. Out front for the race lead. Brandon Elvis has 12 laps to go. Look at your top 2. Been kind of back and forth. Neither driver gaining a clear advantage over the other. We've got 11 to go that time. Atkinson starting to get some pressure from Evan Hassler in the 38. Hassler's not quite ready to call it quits as we come back to 10 laps to go. 10 laps remain here at the Langley Speedway. Atkinson still trying to track down Brandon Elvis. The gap underneath, half a second that time. Atkinson took out a chunk of the race lead. We'll see if the driver of the 15 left anything left in the tank. 7 laps to go when they get back across that time. The times between the two just so even. Six laps to go. It will be 5 laps to go this time for Brandon Elvis. Trying to pick up the victory. What would be victory number 7 for the 54 in the Trackmaster Sim Series. 4 to go. Atkinson still right there, still within striking distance if the 54 makes a mistake. Elvis has to be flawless these final 3 laps to keep the 15 from having any opportunity. This time around, popsicle sticks up in the air, 2 to go for Brandon Elvis, trying to finish the job right here. Down the back straightaway has just over 0.4 of a second. Through turns 3 and 4, white flag is out. Final time around for Brandon Elvis, trying to hold off Brandon Atkinson. Elvis started in the 3rd position. Was able to get up to the 2nd spot, and he is going to win here at Langley. Brandon Elvis, your winner. Brandon Atkinson comes home 2nd. Evan Hassler 3rd. Tyler Muller 4th. And Alex Hallinar rounds out your top 5. Second top 5 finish in a row for the 57. But your winner here tonight, Brandon Elvis. Win number 1 this season. We'll see if we can't grab a word from our winner here tonight. As soon as we can get him up into the broadcast booth, Brandon Elvis. Was able to take the lead from Adam Fulford, and that is ultimately what did it. And there we go. We will get Brandon Elvis up into the booth. And up into the broadcast booth, winner here tonight. After taking the lead from Adam Fulford on one of those restarts, you were able to hold off Brandon Atkinson and Evan Hassler, who were hard charging back behind you. Brandon Elvis, how's it feel?
Feels great, man, to get back, get another TMSS win. It's been so long. Them boys are catching me in the win column pretty quick, so it was time to get back in victory lane for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's been, like you said, it's been a little while. You tore it up the first couple seasons, and then since there's been more and more drivers in here, it's been a little bit tougher to get those wins. But here tonight, had a good field of cars. You were able to put yourself in a good starting spot and ultimately able to walk away with the victory. On those restarts, tell me how your strategy, how you executed your strategy. I saw you kind of crossing over Fulford, trying to get a big dive into 3, and eventually you were able to put enough pressure on him to get him to crack just a little bit and open up the inside.
Yeah, man, I kind of moved him a little bit. He was starting to get real tight in the center of the corner, so I kind of noticed that, and he was getting tight center off, and I was able to roll the center just a little better than him, and kind of nudged him uphill a little bit, and he kind of left me a lane, and we had to pounce. It was time to go. I know that Atkinson and Hassler and those guys behind me were starting to put a lot of pressure on, so it was inside 30 to go. It was time to go for sure. And then it was just setting sail after that and hit my marks.
Yeah, you definitely have to be aggressive at the Langley Speedway with track position, because if it doesn't happen now, there's no telling when it's going to happen. And you were able to get the victory after taking that position right there. Who do you have to thank for win number 1 this season?
Yeah, man, just Coastal Performance, man. We try to come in here and race with these big setup shops and stuff, and I get a lot of help from like Brandon Atkinson and Christian and those guys. Me and BA have been grinding this week to find some speed. We're tired of getting embarrassed, to be honest with you. So I know he's got to win this season, or yeah, I think he's got to win this season. But we're just, tonight was more of it was kind of a statement. I know that Terzak wasn't in the field, but we showed we had to pace tonight. So I'm happy with that going into the last race for sure. Thanks Coleman Design giving us good looking race cars tonight. I ran a throwback car that I made with some help from some guys from Brandon Kelly and Coleman taught me everything I know on it. So thanks to those guys. My team at UCR, just shout out to Christian and John and all the guys that put this league on. This league I think is one of the premier leagues on iRacing. It's had some rough seasons, past couple seasons, but I got faith that Christian and the guys will get it straightened out, and I just hope we keep giving us a place to race here. And thanks to you for putting the broadcast on.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Always is with the Trackmaster Sim Series. Congratulations to you on your win here tonight. 200 laps next week. What can you do to replicate tonight's performance, and what adjustments do you have to make?
I'm not going to tell you that, but I know that I have to be consistent. No, I'm just kidding, man. I just got to see what the weather's like for the race, and just kind of plan on taking tires. We haven't had tires at all this season, so seeing what the car is going to do after 100 laps when the track's rubbered up and you put tires on. So we had to start out kind of free. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely going to throw a wrench into things, but congratulations on your victory here tonight, and we wish you luck in that final race this season.
All right, man. Thanks, WD.
Yep. All right, that was your winner here tonight. Now let's talk to our second place finisher. We're going to up into the broadcast booth. Second place finisher here tonight, P2 for BA Brandon Atkinson. You get a copy.
Sir WD, how you doing?
I'm not too bad. Well, you started from the 5th spot here tonight after the invert. Almost drove it back up to the front. I just don't think you quite had the green flag laps that you needed to kind of gauge exactly what you did have with Elvis.
Yeah, exactly. And the way the setup was built, me and Elvis spent a decent amount of time on last Sunday night, kind of trying to figure things out, just because we've been so close, but not all the way there. It helps being on warmer tracks. We're better on these hotter tracks, but we're slowly starting to figure the speed out to catch these really fast guys and run with all these really quick guys with these good setups. So it's been fun. It was a good race. It had some good battles, and like you said, if we had a little bit more time, I think we might have been able to get Elvis up there, but either way, it was a good race for us going 1-2 there.
Yeah, definitely. Good for both of you to get the 1-2, like you said. Going into next week's race, I asked Elvis this question, and I'll ask you as well. 200 laps, longest race of the season, first time we get tires. How do you have to adjust as a driver, and what adjustments do you maybe have to make to the car and your driving style?
Well, luckily the way we do things, in the league here, we have a controlled halfway break there, I do believe. So it's kind of split into two 100-lap races is the way I like to look at it, and kind of build for at least, because I try to fill back up to the same fuel and get a new set of tires, and hopefully I'm kind of where I need to start back, and you get a chance to make any small adjustments. You don't get much there to work with, but you get a little bit of something. So I just look at it like that, just trying to keep it clean through the first half, of course, and try and keep good track position is kind of seems very important on this track, which sometimes can be hard if you get kicked out to the outside or something like that. But just try to end it with a good run here and see what we can do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully you do get that good run in the final race of the season. But before I let you go, who do you have to thank for P2 here this evening?
Just thanks to CP for putting on the league. Thank you for broadcasting. Thanks to Elvis for giving me someone to work on setups with, so I'm not doing it by myself. We had a good run, and thanks to everyone that's watching. And that's probably about it. And as always, I'll see y'all next time.
All right. Congrats, BA, on P2 here tonight.
Thanks, WD. See ya.
Sir. All right, that was your second place finisher, Brandon Atkinson. Let's quickly talk to third place finisher here tonight. We'll see if we can get him up into the broadcast booth. Up in the broadcast booth.
Ooh, hello.
Evan Hassler, P3 here tonight. I answered your question right as you asked it. That's kind of funny. P3 here this evening, started 7th. Kind of a hectic race. There was a lot of cautions, but the 38 definitely looked like it was fast. I just don't think really had the opportunity to stretch its legs.
Yeah, it was. I came up with a setup in the 3-minute warm-up for me and the 55 of Tyler Muller. So we didn't lack speed. We just lacked, the long distance racing. Once we kind of got under green, it was slip sliding around. We were good for 5 laps at a time, but that was it.
Yeah, it's tough to build the car to be not only good in the short run, but also maintain that speed throughout the run. And like you said, didn't get that much time to really dial in the setup. And with a hot and slick track like this, you really have to throw the kitchen sink at it and hope you find some sort of grip on the exit of the corner. But still a good run for the 38 machine, despite the unfortunate circumstance at the beginning of the night, not having that much practice. Who do you have to thank for a third place finish? Despite, like you said, not having practice.
Tyler Muller.
Yeah, you guys had a good run, 3rd and 4th. I think if you maybe had a little bit more laps to figure out those cars, you guys definitely could have been up at the front. We've got 1 race left this season. If you were able to make it 200 laps, how are you feeling?
I'm just going to focus on actually making it to the race, but if I make it to the race, I get to test, I think I'll do pretty good.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to keep this setup, at least some of the notes. Like you said, there was a couple adjustments you need to make, but keep the setup, keep the notes, and hopefully we can see you next week at season finale.
Yeah, I hope to talk to you again.
Yes, sir. Congratulations on P3 here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that was Evan Hassler. I think I kind of surprised him when I pulled him up into the booth. Initially, I drag everybody into a different channel, and then I drag them up into the booth. That way we don't have a surprise or pull somebody in mid-conversation. If you guys were here many seasons ago, I think it was Justin Coleman up into the booth, and there were 3 words said, and they were all 3 cuss words. So that is why I do it. But anyways, we'll run through our final finishing results here tonight. Get him up on screen. Elvis, your feature winner, first time this season. 2nd place was Brandon Atkinson, your fast qualifier here tonight. 3rd place was Evan Hassler. 4th place, Tyler Muller. 5th place, Alex Hallinar. Landon Farmer comes home in the 6th spot. Kyle Adams, 7th. Adam Fulford, 8th after starting on pole. Jared Duda, 9th. Richard Parks, 10th. Hudson Geiger, 11th. Tom Dean comes home 12th. Anthony Yankello, 13th. Tim Dayton, final car on the lead lap, 14th. Bob Belshaw, 15th. Jason Ferre, 16th. Justin Coleman, 17th. And Zach Murphy rounds out your starting field in the 18th spot. And that will wrap up our coverage here tonight of the Trackmaster Sim Series. Folks, thank you guys for watching the WD Broadcasting Network. We've got 1 race left this season with the Trackmaster Sim Series. Right here at Langley next week, 200 laps, a set of tires, and some strategy involved in that one, so you guys won't want to miss it. We'll see you guys right back here Monday night for the YourBigPlans.com 500 Sprint Car Tours Sim Series. They head to South Boston. And the Street Stock Showdown the night after, I should say, they head to the Rockingham Speedway for the first time in series history. So make sure you guys catch all that stuff next week. Hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss it. But once again, thank you guys for watching. I am your host from the WD Broadcasting Network, Winston Deal, signing it off. You guys have a great night. Peace out.